Good morning, welcome to Furry and Spoilt. Today I'm going to talk to you about are you scared to walk your dog? Now there's a load of reasons why you could be scared to walk your dog. I wasn't planning on doing this video today. That's why you're just getting Humps, one of my dogs, playing. But something happened on my walk this morning and I want to talk to you about it. I'm not scared of walking my dogs, but as my walk was going on, I thought people could really be bothered about walking their dogs in this situation. And then I thought, I wonder if that's why some people don't walk their dogs. So I don't want to walk my dogs with that environment and any of that happening again. And so I've had to come up with a solution, and so it might help you. So let me just tell you about my walk. I have 3 dogs. I've got Humps there playing. I've got my little Albert here. And then you can't see him, but Harry's over on the other side having a cuddle with his dad. Now, Albert, that is here, he has brain damage. He has learning difficulties, and so he definitely has to stay on the lead. Humps over here is my rescue from Korea. Had him 3 months. In the wrong environment, he can be aggressive to people and to dogs. Without good leadership, he can be aggressive. So he absolutely has to stay on the lead. And then Harry, that you can't see, he easily can be off the lead. But because the other 2 are on the lead, he's happy to be on the lead. I sometimes walk my dogs on long lines, you know, the extendy leads. If we go to like the forest or lakes or stuff like that, it gives them a good run around. And then sometimes I walk them just on normal leads. Now, their walk that they absolutely love the most is actually just walking like down streets and stuff. That's one of their favourite walks to do because there's so many smells. And this morning I took them for a walk to it's kind of like, it's sort of like a housing estate. So it's not where we live. So we got in the car and just went for a quick 10-minute drive. It's like a housing estate. It's near some shops. But, well, I'm going to tell you what happened to me on all my walks. And then I'm going to tell you, so all the way through, there's 3 instances with dogs this morning. And there is a recurring theme through them all. So we got out of the car. And I was walking, so I walk 2 of my dogs and my husband walks the other dog. And I was walking 2 of my dogs around onto the path. And there's a road there. And this lady came riding along on a bike and she had her dog off the lead. He was just running along next to her. She then saw me and sort of panicked. I wasn't far away. And she did get him on the lead. Fair play to her. She did get him on the lead. But it was and I said to her, oh, thank you for putting him on the lead. Basically meaning that, you know, if he had come running up to Humps might have snapped at him. And she was quite rude and quite off with me. And she said, well, if I didn't, there would have been mayhem. And I thought, oh, is the dog aggressive then? I didn't say anything, but I thought it. But then as the dog walked past us, it was very clear that that dog was really aggressive. If she hadn't seen us and quickly put him on the lead, that dog would have come running up to us and was really aggressive. So not only have I got Humps, who, as at the time I've had him, he's never seen an aggressive dog because my 2 dogs aren't aggressive. But that could have been a really, really nasty situation. And the dog was, you know, really pulling to get. I was baring his teeth, really aggressive. And the thing that shook me up about that is that she could so easily have not seen us because we came round from the back of our car. You know, we were just by a parade of shops. It wasn't like we were in the middle of a field or anything. And so she's riding along this road with her dog off the lead. I'm going to go back to that in a minute. So that's the first incident. And I thought, wow, goodness me, you know, that dog could so easily have really attacked us and we could have really been in trouble. Now, I know she did get him on the lead and fair play to her for doing that. But that was that was like seconds away from being a really nasty incident. Anyway, so I knew then, I worked out what it was about that situation that was the reason she had him off the lead. So I decided I wasn't walking there anymore. My energy wasn't right. I wasn't quite sure where she'd gone because there's lots of like circles you could do and I wasn't quite sure if we were going to bump back into her. So I decided, right, forget it. We'll put the dogs back in the car and we'll go somewhere else. So I put the dogs back in the car and I went somewhere else for a walk. And that somewhere else was actually back to home. So we parked the car where we always do and we walked around near where our house is. And the first thing, we're walking along and we came along this Dog de Bordeaux. So if you don't know what a Dog de Bordeaux is, they are massive. Like, they're just massive, really big, massive dogs. Now, as it happens, I've got a real soft spot for them. I love them. However, I happen to know that this one isn't okay because I've seen it many, many times when I've been driving past. And I also happen to know that he doesn't listen to a word the owner says. So she's got him off the lead. He's not listening at all. It was quite far away from her. So he appeared a long time before she appeared. And I could tell from his tail that he was aggressive. So I just stopped all my dogs. We all just waited. The owner finally appeared. The dog didn't come over. But with aggressive dogs, that's often what happens. They'll watch from a distance and then attack. So she finally comes pootling along and she said, "Don't worry, he's not aggressive, he's just an idiot." And I thought, no, love, you're the idiot. Because your dog is telling me that he's aggressive. So your dog is aggressive, you got him off the lead, he's not listening to you, and he's a massive dog. Anyway, so she didn't put him on the lead. She's just carrying on, walking down the road with her dog off the lead, you know, like it was nothing. Anyway, so we held back. We decided to scrap this walk. It was all just going wrong. Let's just go home. Before we even got home, we saw a man and a dog far in the distance. Couldn't really work out who it was or whatever, but it was far enough away not to be a problem. And we were just sort of going into our house, going into our garden, into our house. And then we realised that, I don't know if you follow me on social media or you watch my other videos. I did a video about a week ago about a man who was walking his dog and had absolutely no comeback at all. And this dog's really big and really bouncy. Friendly, but really big and really bouncy. And he came and bounced all over Humps here. He's not good with bouncy dogs. And like I said, from South Korea, he's been in the meat trade, treated absolutely horrendously tortured, and he's only been with us a few months. So she comes over, I shouted at him, "My dog's aggressive, get your dog back." And he couldn't. He was really calling her. She wasn't listening. She came and bounced all over Humps, and he bit her twice. It wasn't like proper bites, it was nips. Remember, Humps is on the lead, on a short lead, so I was not in the wrong. And anyway, that was that. About 2 days later, we saw him again. And I said, you know, dog still off the lead, came running up to us again, bouncing all over us. Same thing happened. He hadn't learned a damn thing. And that was the man that was coming towards us. So that dog, again, that man hadn't learned a thing. So if we'd been 10, 20 steps slower, that dog would have come running up to Humps again. And, you know, it really upsets Humps when it happens. It really, really upsets him. So that would have happened all over again. So he hadn't learned a single thing. And the point is, and I made this point when I made the video before, yeah, sure, Humps is snappy. He's not aggressive, but he's snappy. But if that puppy had ran up to, I think he's about a year old, that dog. If he had run up to a dog that was really aggressive, like a German Shepherd or a really aggressive dog, that was on the lead, that puppy could have got extremely hurt. And the man just didn't care. Didn't care. Anyway, so I was like, well, I've had enough of this. I just want to walk my dogs. I'm sick and tired of irresponsible dog owners affecting my walks with dogs that are off the lead that shouldn't be. And then I thought, okay, so we went home and I said to my husband, well, we've got to sort this out. We've got to work out what went wrong about that walk and make sure this doesn't happen again. Because it just seemed like in one walk, every bad scenario was thrown at me. So this is the conclusion that we've come to. All the places we were walking is what I will call dog walking places. So they're places where there was room for a dog to run around off the lead, no traffic at all, and people just let their dogs off the lead, whether their comeback is good, whether the dog's aggressive or not. What a lot of people do is they get dogs that don't know how to look after them properly, so they really misbehave at home, and so their belief is they let the dog go out, get them off the lead, let them have good run around. That's like magic. It's going to make everything okay. It absolutely isn't going to make everything okay at all. There is so much else to dog ownership. And I think this is why I'm seeing so many dogs now that are just off the lead when they absolutely shouldn't be. But they're all in places where, what I call like dog walking places. so they can't actually get hit by a car. Now, the first incident, the lady on the bike, that is, although it was by shops and there was a road, that road isn't a through road. It only goes to the shops, and it's very, very quiet. And there is like a nature reserve. It's like a heathland nature reserve place where loads and loads of people walk their dogs. Now, we weren't on them. We were like outside of the heathland bit, but there would be a lot of dogs coming off there because you can't walk your dog. You cannot take your dog onto that heathland. There are so many aggressive dogs off the lead. It's dangerous. So I would never walk my dog. Did it once, would never do it again. But we were on the road that kind of goes round the outside of it, and that road is extremely quiet. So although it was incredibly irresponsible for this lady to have a dog off the lead on the road, it is an incredibly quiet road and it's not a through road. And so I could see how the mistake was there, that we were on the end of that moorland place. And that's a notorious place for walking your dog. So, it is what I call a dog walking place. The second thing that happened, and the third thing that happened in the same place, with the dog de Bordeaux and then the man and his puppy off the lead, that is actually where we live. But we live in a place where there's no roads. So it's an estate, but there are no roads at all on the estate. All around the outside of so it's a big circle. All on the outside there were roads where we all park, and that's where garages and stuff are. But actually in the middle of the estate, there's no roads, and it's like a maze in these squares, and you can walk square to square to square. Absolutely no roads. And so although it wouldn't seem like an obvious dog walking place, it is, because you can let your dog off the lead and there's no road. And even the road that goes around the outside in the circle where we all park, it's very, very quiet. And so the conclusion that I came to, and me and my husband came to, is that anywhere where it's like a dog walking place, that's where the off the lead dogs are going to be. And even if you don't actually go into the dog walking place, even if it doesn't seem like a very obvious dog walking place like our estate, dog owners can be really irresponsible, and they'll walk their dogs off those places. And so even on the roads around the edge, outsides can still have loose, out of control dogs. A lot of time what happens is they've got the dog off the lead, like in the dog walking place, and then when they come away from it, they can't get the dog back. So the dog is still off the lead on the roads around it. Now, so I'm in the UK. We don't have dog parks. We have places that you can pay, and you can take your dog to like an enclosed field, and you can pay like £10 an hour, and it's an enclosed field, and there's agility and toys and stuff for them to do. But this isn't what I'm talking about. Those places are actually great if you want to let your dog off the lead and you don't want to be disturbed by other out of control dogs. They're great. But if you're in America, there's going to be dog parks. My idea of a dog park is actually like hell on earth. I wouldn't take my dog to a dog park if you paid me. I would imagine that if you go to a dog park, that that could be quite bad. So I'm talking about like dog walking places. So anywhere where, like I just said, there's no traffic, lots of open spaces, and there will be lots of other dogs off the lead. And the other thing to remember is that someone said, I heard this story the other day, that somebody's got a dog, and the puppy, and the comebacks are atrocious. And they said, yeah, but I have to let it off the lead because that's what you do with dogs. I do not know if that is a common thought, but it's the most stupidest thought I've ever heard. It's ridiculous. You do not just let your dog off the lead because it's what you do with dogs. If your dog doesn't come back, then don't let your dog off the lead. It's really straightforward. So anyway, the conclusion I've come to is there are places like this where there are lots of dogs. Parks are another place. Some fields will be like it. Where there are dogs like this. And I don't want to walk my dogs where there are aggressive dogs running around off the lead. And so this is what I am now going to do. I am only going to walk my dogs in places where there will not be other dogs off the lead. Now, because my dogs are happy to walk on the lead, that's great. We do on the lead walking, and we do like a good 45-50 minute walk. Because they're such sniffers, they absolutely love that. and they're nose to the ground the whole way. By the end of it, they are absolutely whacked. Now, I've got to pick different places because the places I've been picking to walk them are too close to dog walking places. And that is often because you can park at these dog walking places. So I've got to now find walks that are nowhere near dog walking places. So they are nowhere near them. So a walk that I often do with my dogs that I like is take them into town. So it's before the shops open, so it's nice and quiet. There's enough people bumbling about just to sort of keep them interested and socialised. But there is not going to be loose dogs. There's not a place to be walking your dog. So walking them into town is a really good thing to do. But I've got to put a bit more thought into this. But I'm going to find walks where it's nowhere near a dog walking place. So any dogs that are walking along the road have to be on the lead because the road is quite busy. Now, a problem that I do have is that Humps here, the one at the back from Korea, he actually has a fear of traffic. I talked about that in a video. I know I haven't put it out yet. It's coming up. And how I'm helping him with it. And he's doing really well. Progress is going really well. But it does mean that walking down busy roads is a bit of a problem at the moment. So I'm having to kind of find roads where they're not really busy, but they're also not too quiet. Because the too quiet ones are where the stupid people walk their dogs off the lead. So I've got to find roads where the traffic is busy enough that you wouldn't let your dog off the lead because if he ran into it, he's going to get flattened by a car. And so that's what I've got to find now is those kind of walking. So here's my advice to you. If you're scared of walking your dogs because other dogs are running up to you while your dog's on the lead, get away from dog walking places, whatever, depending on which country you are. That may be a different kind of environment. I would really appreciate it if you could help me out with this. I would really appreciate it if you would, on YouTube, in the comments, could you put which country you're in and how that works for you. So like I know America has like like I said about dog parks, but like in different countries, do you have places where more dogs are walked? Like that's like a place you go to walk your dog. I'd really appreciate it if you put it into comments and help people out that are in your country, because obviously I don't know about your country. And that's what I'm going to do. If you're worried about walking your dog because you don't want other dogs running up to them, street walk them, but it's got to be not too quiet, because you'd be amazed how stupid people can be. You'd be amazed how many people will walk their dogs off the lead on what I consider roads where there are cars and it's dangerous. So it's got to be, and I don't know about how it is in your country, but in my country, the roads have got to be quite busy before people will put their dog properly on the lead. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm not happy about it at all. I should be able to walk my dogs on a lead. It's not like I'm walking them through the middle of the forest and expecting no dog to come up to me. I'm walking them along roads, but it's not enough. I'm still getting dogs come running up. So that's what I'm doing. So that's my new plan. That's what we're going to do. And just to see how that goes, because I'm sick and tired of off the lead dogs come running up to us and causing us problems. So that's what I'm doing. Please, I really need to hear your story on this. I'm really interested in, is this a problem? Is this a problem across the world? You're walking your dog down a street and dogs off the lead are coming up. I'd really be interested in your experience on this. So, I got myself all riled up about this. Not happy about it at all. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.